So I was working on a video about Risk a Circuit, a contentious character with more excuses for her actions than a D20, when my extremely medicated brain had another idea. You see, Risk likes to abuse one of her friends a lot, and that friend is Tavros. Tavros does nothing to make her just that positively miffed except for be small and have fun. And the narrative loves this. The narrative loves to abuse this boy, and does a lot to keep that abuse going. And that's the joke. The joke is that this pathetic little guy gets shit on constantly, and that's the comedy. Ha ha, we love the taste of your tears. And that's what brings me to the thesis of this thing I'm tentatively calling a video essay. Watching a character who does nothing but get abused isn't funny. So let's dive right in. For a very long time, the trope of pathetic characters hit with a stick for being pathetic has sunk its claws into a lot of TV shows, good and bad. To name a few, we have SpongeBob, Rick and Morty, Uncle Grandpa, Clarence, Futurama, South Park, and probably a lot of others. This trope is infected with games as well, like Class of 09 and Ace Attorney. There might be more, but I'm not too sure. Stories in video games don't really engage me as much as stories in TV shows. You see, I believe this style of humor was derived from Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry, namely the dynamic of hunter and prey that they had going on. Or, to put it more bluntly, protagonist and antagonist. Every episode of Tom and Jerry consists of Tom trying to kill Jerry, the cat trying to kill the mouse. But we love to see him get hurt in the process. The same can be said for a lot of Looney Tunes episodes. Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner epitomize this to a T. While it is true that slapstick humor is just generally funny, it becomes even funnier when it's a quote-unquote bad person getting hurt, or more accurately, the antagonist. It's satisfying to see the guy who we don't root for getting the comeuppance. And when it happens, you can't help but laugh because, fuck that guy, he's a dick, is in your mind. Hey, so while I was editing this video, I realized a possible second reason for why this trope is literally everywhere. And it's just straight up bullying. People enjoy bullying, and people think that other people are gonna like to see people getting bullied in their cartoons and TV shows and whatever. I shouldn't have to tell you that bullying is not fun and is not funny. And if you like laughing at people getting bullied, then you probably need some kind of help. Please go to therapy. Do better. However, something changed. Somewhere along the line, people lost the plot and just started beating people mercilessly when they do very little to deserve it. Or, in most instances, nothing. I'm going to get into a few glaring examples of the absolute disrespect some of these characters get, starting with the least offensive and most ignorable. So, here we have... Example 1. Joshua Maverick. Clarence is a show about kids being kids, engaging in hijinks and just generally dicking around, as kids tend to do. Now, admittedly, I haven't watched much of Clarence, but I do remember Josh. Mainly because, holy fuck, did this guy get the shit end of the stick every single time. In his first appearance, we see him with a scar across his cheek from an unexplained attack caused by Clarence's friend Sumo.
My mom banned me from leaving after last time.
Whoa, what happened last time?
Long story.
Later on, we see Josh being a loser, trying to rizz up a girl by bragging about being assistant manager.
Pretty much assistant manager by now. I have my key and everything. You can hold it if you want.
Side note, don't do this. We then immediately see Clarence and Sumo messing with a blood pressure machine and with Josh trying to fix it.
Hey!
Clean up on all five.
The next few scenes involve the two damaging store items and having Josh clean up their messes. Now, it's fun to see kids messing around with grocery store products. The pizza frisbee and cereal dominoes were fun, but it isn't really funny to me to see this poor store worker just have to clean up after them. At least, not as funny as it's apparently supposed to be. At one point, Josh corners Sumo, and an off-screen scuffle ensues.
Well, look who it is.
Hello, Joshua.
Resulting in Sumo literally mauling this man like a wild badger.
Oh, don't worry about it. I got my resources.
Clarence, is that...
Come on, Mom, let's go.
And then we see his manager punish him for chasing his kid.
Get back here! When I get my hands on you!
Whoa! What is this? Are you chasing a child?
No! He stole all the coupons. It's against store policy, sir.
All right, easy, Maverick. How about we go have a little talk in my office?
Nice one, Joshua.
It's Josh.
will say you shouldn't chase kids through a store, especially not the age of 27. But the conclusion is that this guy does very little and is then punished. And I don't really like that. It's not fun. Not funny. And we're only getting started. In his next appearance, Nature Clarence, he's seen to work at a hiking thing. Oh god, I know what the official title is. He tells the kids Nature Kid can't take them hiking and has an apple thrown his way for literally no reason at all. Clarence and co. go on and on about how great Nature Kid is, and Clarence admits that she thinks pretty lowly of Josh. Nature Kid is his girlfriend, by the way.
Oh, you're Joshua? I heard your guys' relationship is on the rocks.
What? Where'd you hear that?
I don't know. Hey, can we go on some rocks?
Did Kate say that? What else did she say?
Oh, she said a lot of things. She said that you're lazy, that you're angry, that you don't have any ambitions, whatever that means.
What? I got tons of ambition.
And in a moment of anger at Clarence's statements, he decides to take the kids hiking to the most dangerous site, Sheep's Bridge, as a sort of I'll show her wrong moment. So he piles them all into his car, and then they're off. Clarence is loud and obnoxious, Sumo is needlessly antagonistic, Jeff is actually kinda cool, and Percy spills his milk and pukes. Things are not looking up for Josh. The kids are unintentionally testing his patience, so he decides to turn around like a reasonable person, resulting in a crash that leaves them stranded.
It's a bento! These things are invincible!
Sumo runs away, and a bird steals the only phone they have that has bars. Things are really, really not looking up for this guy. Clarence keeps singing Kate's praises as they walk through the desert trying to get back home to the unamusement of Josh. So he decides to say, fuck it, you lead the way. And he does. Clarence somehow gets them to Sheep's Bridge, materializes a set of matches out of nowhere, and finds a hot tub. Like a fully operational hot tub. I probably wouldn't get in the water if I were you. And reasonably, Josh is angry that he tries so hard and comes so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. And then he decides to get into the hot tub, because fuck it. Small aside, I don't know what the deal is with Clarence, but for whatever reason, like, more than half of the clips that I've seen involve someone either not wearing a shirt or pants. Kinda weird. Anyway, Josh goes fucking mental out of nowhere and almost slides down the edge of the cliff. Clarence tries to save him and ends up accidentally farting in his face. God, this man cannot catch a break. Anyway, his girlfriend comes to his rescue along with Sumo and the goat she had to save. Oh, I think I forgot to mention that near the beginning of the script. She was not there because she had to go save a goat. They get in the car, and Josh tells her that he's not cut out for hiking, to which she tells him that she's been seeing someone at— Whoa, what the fuck? Okay, that's just fucking awful. I get that Josh is a bit of a dick, and he's an angry man who makes bad decisions, but holy fuck, don't cheat on people. You know, it's only fair that I lambast Josh too. Dude, don't spread children out in the middle of nowhere, you ass. You know, given that, I'd say his treatment is arguably reasonable here. He fucked up, dude. But anyway, he gets fucking ear ripped off and everyone laughs at him. Jesus. Oh jeez, that was a lot. Alright, speed round. The next episode we see him in, Neighborhood Grill. He's a waiter who's deathly afraid of Clarence, and for good reason too. The whole joke of the episode is that he's too afraid to go near this kid and is constantly avoiding him. Clarence accidentally flicks some crab legs into the walkway, causing Josh to fall over and lose his fucking eye. Oh my Jesus.
I always get stuck busting tape. Whoa! Oh! My eye!
The next episode, he becomes the Ubermensch of KFC. God, they really do not know what to do with this guy, huh? But it turns out to not be real, so moving right along, bedside manners. The first time we see him, he instantly trips on Clarence's 8-foot death sub, then tripped again by his 3-foot meal tray. And that's all. In Chimney, we see him pack on a few pounds, and he's basically crazy now, before he meets with a dog. It calls him Joshua, and then he falls off a train they're on. Waterpark, the last episode of Season 1 that he's in, and the most that I decided to research before writing out all this. He gets puked on after harassing the kids, and that's all I could stomach. This is the least offensive example because it's plain boring rather than just outwardly irritating. Josh shows up, is harassed with little to no reason as to why, mostly, and that's the comedy. Next. Example 2, Hot Dog Person. In some of the cutaways Uncle Grandpa sprinkles through its main episodes, we see new experiences with Very Nice and Hot Dog Person, which is about just that. In the first clip that I could find on YouTube, I couldn't find all of them, but there's like a million of them somewhere, they try ice cream, and Hot Dog Person attempts to lick his, gets stung by a bee, flails around like he's on fire, and lands in a garbage can.
quite delicious.
He just looks so goddamn sad while it's happening. Like, what's the joke here? Watch sad guy have bad day, now laugh? It's kind of malicious, not gonna lie. The next clip we see of them involves learning about computers. Hot Dog Person is having a good time for about 10 seconds before Barry Nice accidentally hacks into the government's missile launch portal and ends the fucking world, somehow escaping unscathed while Hot Dog Person is split in two. Next clip. They decide to take a bath and Hot Dog Person is positively traumatized. He just really is like, are you sure that it's safe? Because it's two things that have happened before this. Barry Nice slips into his tub and makes Hot Dog Person get in the toilet. And, you know, if I didn't know any better, I would suspect that Barry Nice was intentionally fucking with it. Okay, so he is. Barry flushes him down the toilet where he's eaten by an alligator, made into a person, and thrown into the ocean. Poor guy. The next clip involves them climbing trees, and holy fuck, Barry Nice is a goddamn villain. He makes Hot Dog Person climb an active electrical tower. I don't know if he dies horrifically, but the clip cuts off after he has a good time climbing, so... Okay, so I found it. He gets mauled to death by a pack of eagles while Barry watches and makes a lame quip. Wow, so he does die horrifically. Can't find all the clips, but it's just more of the same. Hot Dog Person gets horribly maimed while Barry Nice watches. Feels biblical in nature. Next. Example 3. Squidward Tentacles. Squidward Tentacles is the epitome of this trope. The thing about Squidward is that he used to be a major asshole, providing reasons for his shitty treatment.
If I had $1 for every brain you don't have, I'd have $1. Hey, Patrick, I heard there was a job opening down at the pet shop as some newspaper.
Then that makes you a big dummy, you dummy!
Yeah, well, that means that, so are you.
You're a turkey!
What's that?
That's what you are!
Well, you're a bigger one.
Well, you're still yellow. You know what else is yellow?
What?
You are!
Yeah? Well, it doesn't matter what you call me, because I never want to see you again anyway.
Well, what can I say? It's been great knowing you, SpongeBob. Good luck somewhere else. I'm gonna miss you. Boo-hoo! 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 Boo-hoo!
Oh, maybe
Are you planning on ordering today, sir?
I'll have a Krabby Patty.
How original.
And with extra onion.
Daring today, aren't we?
The show went on, and something about their dynamic changed. SpongeBob became less of a goofy little guy who actually had half a brain and could get fed up with Squidward's bullshit on occasion, as a normal person would do, and more of a smiling annoyance with the temperament of a child. I'm not going to talk about Patrick. 5 million people have already talked about the subtle decline of Patrick and everything like that. He got bad as time went on. Maybe it's Flanderization, I'm not too sure. Anyway, Squidward also changed. He became more bitter, really just wanting SpongeBob and Patrick to leave him the hell alone. And for good reason, too. And they don't. A lot of the time, he ends up either enraged, psychologically damaged, or literally suicidal. To the point of where people speculate that they made a joke about that exact thing in an episode. Hey, fun fact, I hear that there was an episode where he murdered a bunch of SpongeBob clones, and that was the one thing that made him happy the entire episode. Out of like a million different tries by SpongeBob to get him happy. You can tell why it was removed. It's just too much, even for SpongeBob. And being too much is their main thing now. To illustrate my point, let's look at one of the worst episodes this happens in. House Fancy. You know that bit with the toenail? Squidward is jealous of Squilliam Fancyson's house being featured on House Fancy.
Swithers, here next to me is Squilliam Fancyson.
Hello, peasants.
It got kind of a snooty one-upmanship thing going on, so we decided to call them up and say that his house is fancier.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, my name is Squidward Tentacles, and my house is far fancier than that slob Squilliam's.
Really?
Really?
They say they'll be at his house in 2 hours. How the fuck do you know where he lives? And that's the main conflict. It's kind of weird it happens like halfway through the entire episode. Squidward enlists the help of SpongeBob, who promptly fucks up the entire house by smattering it in globs of paint. Good job, SpongeBob. You pointed out the one thing you needed to paint and you somehow failed. Now, Squidward's being kind of a dick to SpongeBob, but considering that he came into the episode spying on Squidward, and there's a line about the police having to have been called previously, among many, many other things, I'd say that his anger is mostly justified. Then the nail scene happens, and look, about 1,000 million billion people have spent 2 entire hours picking apart why the scene is bad, so I'll just breeze through it. Watching Squidward get horrifically maimed isn't funny, it's horrifically macabre. While Squidward's dealing with that, SpongeBob turns on a vacuum and the entire house is sucked up into it. Smooth move, dicks for eyes, you're really using your brain there. Wait, no he's not. He lent it to Patrick for the evening. Anyway, Squidward comes back and sees the vacuum, to which SpongeBob tries and fails to turn it off. Then Patrick comes in, fucking kills Squidward's toilet, literally, and then the entire house explodes. Nick, also the house fancy guy's name is Nick, I forgot to mention that earlier, comes over and looks at Squidward's now demolished house, calling it a new era of fanciness. And yeah, Squidward gets a win in this episode. Woohoo. Still, but watching his house be progressively destroyed until it's just not fucking there anymore is boring at best, and, well, it's boring at worst, too. It's two different kinds of boring. The episode's just kind of there. I will say, though, they go way overboard with Squilliam's reaction. I did not need to see this man cry like a literal baby. Meet the sequel.
Oh, don't worry, Squilliam. I might be able to get Squidward to help you redecorate. He is a personal friend of mine. You know, success hasn't gone to his head. He is still the same old great guy. He has not changed.
You know, I find a lot that SpongeBob has their characters cry quite a bit. And a lot of them are really, really great at sounding like authentic crying. There's an entire episode about it, actually, where SpongeBob has to try not to cry. Moving right along, another episode where bad things happen to him just for existing is Cephalopod Lodge. SpongeBob and Patrick stalk Squidward into the lodge, make themselves known during a ceremony that was supposed to be private, and the lodge members blame Squidward for them just being there because he knows them. So he gets kicked out, and the laws of Acme dictate that he is to be bludgeoned, stripped, and his spirit thoroughly crushed.
At least you still have the hat.
Yeah, I do, don't I?
You still have your robes.
You still have your underwear.
All he wants to do is go home, but SpongeBob wants to create a new lodge because he is an actual child. Never mind the fact that trying to cheer someone up typically only works when they want to be cheered up, SpongeBob. So they break into his house, this is a running theme with them, while he tells them to leave, eventually being physically moved outside the house, before they resort to just fucking kidnapping him and bringing him to Jellyfish Fields. A place he has never wanted to be ever. It's important to note here that Patrick briefly expresses the idea that Squidward doesn't want to join their lodge, an idea which SpongeBob blatantly fucking ignores.
I don't think Squidward wants to join our lodge.
Oh, sure he does. He just needs a little push.
Like, dude, he doesn't want to. He really doesn't want to. He then says that the kidnapping that took place was not in fact a kidnapping because he said so, and that it was actually an initiation to the lodge. The lodge that Squidward doesn't want to fucking join. What precedes is all of them shocking their tongues, Squidward's literally having to be yanked out of his mouth. Jesus, you really can't help but feel bad for him. They mail him a chicken outfit so he can be a part of the new lodge, the Feather Friends, to which Squidward rips it off and screams in his face that he doesn't want to join their lodge. After the 15th time of telling him this, he finally relents and decides to form a plan to get him re-accepted into the lodge. That actually works. Good job, SpongeBob. Squidward's finally happy again, and you fucked it up. After they're kicked out, again, the laws of Acme still apply, and Squidward is reinitiated into the Feather Friends, the lodge he still does not want to join.
Feather friends.
But you'll have to pass the initiation again.
It's just mean for the sake of being mean. Like, God. This is going to be a short one, but it illustrates just how comfortable they've gotten with this as an episode structure. Squidward involves SpongeBob bugging the shit out of Squidward and being firmly told, "Get the fuck out of my house, you psycho."
Oh, I will never play with you. Ever!
So he decides to do what any normal person would do in this situation and make a wooden dummy of him. The fucking SpongeBob, are you okay? Anyway, he brings the puppet to work, where everyone within a 20-mile radius cannot help but slob all over his knob and take massive shits all over Squidward. It resolves with the puppet getting $1 million deal, while Squidward cries and hours to be with two SpongeBob's fucking stellar. Even shorter, but in The Thing, he's excised from his own house, covered in concrete, pricked, electrocuted, and then stranded for 5 fucking days. SpongeBob finds him and brings him to his house, where he's told that they can be a family forever, and he cries. There's a lot of crying in this episode. Oh boy, I'm sure having a good time watching this. He's then attacked by Gary and forced to move in with Patrick, taken away by animal control, mauled by a clam, and insulted, which is the least horrible thing that's happened to him all episode. And then to make matters worse, it becomes apparent that he'd prefer to stay in an exhibit in the goddamn zoo, rather than go home with SpongeBob. Put yourself in this guy's place. You were sealed in concrete, endured multiple injuries, kidnapped by your worst nightmare, then the zoo, and now you're being taken back to your worst nightmare's house. What kind of angsty AO3 bullshit am I reading here, where this one guy wanted one thing and is being mercilessly beaten by the universe at large for it? And he keeps crying. He just keeps crying. If I didn't know any better, I would say something fetishistic was going on, because as I've stated before, this level of abuse is typically reserved for horribly sadistic fanfiction. Anyway, they find some creatures who look like Squidward and leave him there, where he actually gets to listen to Kenny G's jazz, the one thing he's wanted all episode. How lovely. But then a shell thing cracks and he says hi. The episode ends there, and I'm glad. They might have had him get mauled one last time for the funny. After looking at all of this, I'm left with a new outlook on things that actually solidifies my previous theory. Initially, I thought it was characters doing nothing and getting beat on, but that's only half true. The writers of these shows do try to make the negative treatment of these people reasonable most of the time, but they don't try hard enough, and I'm left watching someone be either slightly sarcastic, a little bit rude, or do basically nothing at all except for maybe fear for their life, and then have the laws of Acme come at them in full force. This happens in so many TV shows, and it's been happening for years. All of the episodes I pulled from for the Squidward section don't exceed season 8. Everyone says SpongeBob got worse in later seasons, and this is one of the reasons why. People keep falling back on this terrible fucking trope, and I'm left with the same question. Why? At best, it'll get a chuckle the first few times it happens, and at worst, you'll either be bored out of your mind or just uncomfortable while watching it. I've said it before, but it's sadistic. And in the case of shows like South Park, it knows and enjoys that it's sadistic to kick puppies whose only crimes are barking at you once, if ever. That's all this feels like. It's all it ever feels like. One person does one thing, if that. It's like they've offended God personally. And those are my thoughts, put into words. If you liked the video, tell me what you liked, and if you didn't, tell me how to improve. If you wish to contest the points